Hi, and welcome back to Today We Review. And today we're going to be reviewing the Groove. It's a On product from Walmart, basically the Walmart name brand product that they have. They have Equate and they have On as well. So this one in particular is a wireless over-ear headphones. It is actually integrated with active noise cancellation and ambient noise. So it does state that it's up to 30 hours playtime. Um, and we're going to be reviewing, we're going to look into the depth of the device, and I'll give my personal opinions regarding the content pros that I found after checking this guy out. So I actually received this guy for Christmas, and I waited this long because I really wanted to try out every single part of it and make sure that I really went into detail into what I like and don't like about it, and really review it for you guys, because I know that's where you come here. You would come in to my channel, to this channel in particular, to hear honest reviews about the product. So this is what I'm doing. So let's go and take a look at the overview of the product, of the box itself. It's very simple, very bland. I remember once I was told when I was working at Best Buy, and they were telling me that you can actually tell a lot about how a company, I guess, like, represents their products by how much logoing, how much color it has on the actual box itself. And this one, I mean, it has the actual colored part here, so at least it's not black and white. But it's kind of interesting that it's just very bland itself. The back, of course, provides us with information as well. It says built-in microphone, active noise cancellation, and ambient sound pass-through, Bluetooth technology, streams audio from all your devices, lightweight, collapsible design. Of course, it tells us a couple of more, the basics. And it says that up to 23 hours, specs as well. Active noise cancellation, the ambient, 30 hours playtime, and what's in the box. So a wireless noise cancellating headphone, the USB, the aux, the carrying case, and the quick start guide. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual item itself. Packaging is also pretty simple. Sorry. Now, first impression out of the box, of course, it comes with this, is actually nice. It's actually pretty nice. The retail value for this runs about from $30 to $50, depending on if there's a promotion or some kind of discount as well. I've seen it drop and kind of go back up. But first impression, not bad. It's smaller than the actual course because the packaging, but very nice. It's more of like artificial vinyl covering that it has here, which makes me kind of wonder if later on it's going to end up getting that kind of bubble once it starts separating from the actual hard part. So that's kind of something to keep an eye out. Zipper wise is pretty good. And of course, it comes with the user manual, which again is pretty darn basic. I was surprised they really just took to yellow and white and blue. So it tells you, of course, the model, some other specifics of it, what it comes with. It also informs you as to how the actual layout is and what you're supposed to do. The only downside I'm seeing right away from this, which I didn't like, and that's that it doesn't really specify in detail much about the enhanced outside sound versus active noise cancellation. I wish it would have given us like a small description as to, like, oh hey, yeah, this is what it does and stuff like that, but that's fine. And opening it up, of course, we see a nice layout of the headphones. Here, this is one thing that I really did like. It has a nice little pouch where it comes with your charger and the aux cable as well. The headphones themselves are actually really nice. I will say this: I'm not a huge fan of logo representation, so I was really surprised that it didn't say on or anything. It does have on right here, and that's about it, which is really great because you go out and they're just really nice headphones. The design itself. As you can see right here, we do have the active noise cancellation, the ambient, the bottom, the power, and of course the auxiliary and the charger mic section right here, and the light for this. It's nice. It's light. It's comfortable. It has a nice rubber feel to the top section. It does collapse really nice, and it stays, so it's not loose, which is a really nice thing to see. Um, it's cushiony. Again, it's that artificial vinyl feel that you kind of see with regular headphones nowadays. Everybody has this. So let's go ahead and take a look into a further deep dive into this. I have my handy dandy notebook into what I found out when I was actually reviewing this item and trying it out. So one thing that I do want to mention is I'll go ahead and start with the pros because everybody wants to hear pros and cons, but I'll start off with it, and sell it out for you guys. So the pros, I actually was really surprised at for the value and price and just the level of this. This would be, I would consider it more of like an entry level headphone set. It's not midway because midway, I'm assuming you would probably be looking into like closer to the $100. And of course, the higher ends would be over the 100 for sure. But for being an entry level, cancellation was actually really good. And I'll show you some examples right now in a bit. But the distance wise, it does have a really good distance. So I was able to go from here, from this room to the garage. And it wasn't until I reached the very corner of the garage that it was actually starting to cut out. And that's more than 30 feet that without any kind of interruptions. Sound, the bass is actually really good. Now, regarding the sound, there's a couple of things that I do want to mention is that the sound itself is really good in bass, but it's really good for like pop, techno, jazz kind of music, more of that style. It has really high sounds, so that's really nice also. Um, but bass wise, it's pretty good. I mean, I was actually, like I'm saying, I'm surprised that for the price and for being a Walmart brand, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. Control wise, the controls as seen right here, they are touch sensitive. So of course, if you're gonna be going up and down, that's for volume. Left and right, that's for forward, reverse, double tap, single tap for play, pause, of course, and it's also for calls. That being said, I will go into the touch in a bit further as well, but it's pretty good. It's sensitive. I move it up, move it down, no issues. The devices, even the phone and everything, they do a good job in I guess responding to them. There's no lag or anything, which is nice. The auxiliary cable noise. So this was very fascinating to learn because it doesn't show anything here regarding this, but when you're listening with your auxiliary port, you actually have the option to use noise cancellation. So that itself is very intriguing to me because I kind of thought that by using the auxiliary, there's no functions. It's just a regular headset. But I tried it out, and sure enough, I'm listening to a device that doesn't have Bluetooth capabilities, and I turn on my what is it, the audio noise cancellation, and it works. It actually works. Like it works with the ambient and this one. Amazing. That was something that was really neat. As I mentioned, the rubber side on top section is really well placed. It does expand further, but just coming out of the box, a pretty good job. I tested out jumping, running, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and all that stuff, and it stays nice. Doesn't move. That's awesome. Calls are pretty good too. Nothing whoa, about it, but the calls are there. It does a pretty good job at doing the calls. Um, so I was also going to mention that in regards to pressure wise, there's no pressure regarding the ear section. The ears fit really well. Now it depends how tall you are, because taller you are, the bigger ears you might have, size wise. But for myself, it fit pretty well. My ears fit in snugly. There wasn't any kind of issues. There wasn't pressure around the ear or on top of the ear, any of that. So it's pretty good. And that being said, I'm going to move on to the cons. Now, the cons, I did make a list large enough to the same thing as this. Now, in regards to sound wise, bass, for whatever reason, sometimes the bass doesn't kick in well, whatever reason that might be. So when you're listening to some music, the bass overtakes the music, and you can't really hear the treble. But in some songs, it undertakes it and it underplays it, so there's a lack of bass. But when there's really good bass, when there's bass, there's really good bass, which is the interesting part. Um, Now, the other thing that I was gonna mention is that when I was talking about the auxiliary, here's the interesting thing: is that I don't know how they built this or how other ones are built, but if there's no power on this headset, there's no auxiliary option. What the heck? What's going on there? So you have to charge your headset in order to listen to auxiliary. Weirdest thing ever. I have never encountered that because with the other headset that I have, the Bluetooth audio, if the battery's gone, I still can listen to the auxiliary port. And as you can tell, this one's really bad, but it's used already. But this one, I can listen to the auxiliary port music through the auxiliary when the battery's gone. With this one, if the battery's gone, you don't have a headset. Like it doesn't work for whatever reason. And I'm assuming it's probably because it gives you the option for noise cancellation. But even then, that's really weird. Now, in regards to signal going back, it works really good for phones and modern devices. But if you saw my previous channel, I reviewed the SanDisk as well. And in this one, when I actually connected Bluetooth, it connects and all. That's great. But there's always some kind of issue where it, like, the signal gets reconnected. So there's a point when you're listening to music and it sounds like it cuts off and comes back. It cuts off and comes back. It's less than a second, half a second, but you can tell like there's a pause. You know, da na na da na 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 da na na. You know, so that's kind of the issue is that if you're connecting it to older devices, it sometimes the signal doesn't stay connected, even though it's Bluetooth. But the auxiliary, once you connect it to auxiliary, boom, it works amazing. Um, Now, cable for something happened when I was first using this, and that's that I tried connecting it with a different kind of charger, and I don't know if it might have just been a glitch or something, but it wasn't recognizing it. It didn't want to charge anything else besides the charger that it came with, the cable itself. However, recently I tried it again and it worked. So that's something to keep an eye out that it might be a glitch or something that you may have to just use this or I don't know, but that was my experience that for a moment it did only work or it only charged with the cable that it came with. Of course, calls, there wasn't anything wow. You sound well, it sounds good in there. There wasn't anything. Of course, this itself, I'm assuming in this case, it would be used more for music than calls. Calls are an extra, so it's nothing, whoa, spectacular. The other thing I was going to mention is that um, the section here, because it's at artificial vinyl, depending on the temperature outside or where you're at or what you're doing, you will start sweating around the ear or start heating up. So it's nice. When I was talking about the pros, it does feel nice and it's comfortable. It doesn't heat up, but it does heat up when you start doing activities or when it's hot outside. That's when you'll start noticing, some kind of heat and maybe some light, I guess, sweat, depending on what you're doing as well. So that's the other thing. So when I was referring to good music for pop, jazz, techno kind of style, high sounds, it does work. It does really good. The issue here is that when you're listening to death metal or some metal songs, that's where the bass kind of messes up this music. Here's a great example. I was listening to Bohemian Rhapsody, and the second part where it has that kind of dun 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 dun, dun kind of bass style. It didn't. Underwhelmed. It was underwhelming here because it didn't perform as it should have, where it delivers that hit. Here's the weird part. That being said, it actually did pretty good with the auxiliary, and I'm not sure if maybe that's just because I put it off and then reconnected it, but it sounded a bit better with the auxiliary than with Bluetooth. And I'm not sure of whether or not that's, the device itself or the connection or the music, but that was the issue that I did notice. Here's another con, and that's that it's always on. The device is always on. It's always on in terms of it might not be on like the light, but it's always on because when you connect it to auxiliary, you have the function. So that's the downside, is that once you fully charge the device, it's always on. That's been my experience. Well, maybe I got a glitchy one or something, but that has been my experience, that when you turn it off, it's not fully off because it connects to the auxiliary, and then you're able to use the devices. And of course, see, see, that's what I'm saying. It's always on. Like it does turn off, but it's always on. So keep that in mind. The other thing is that the touch, yes, I like that it's touchscreen, but I mean touchscreen, touchpad. But then again, I don't like it because if I'm in a rush or something, I don't know where I'm putting my finger at. The other issue regarding that is that everything is on the right side. All the functions are here. There's nothing over here. I would have liked to have either some here, because if the day comes where it drops or it stops malfunctioning, well, I don't have any connections. I don't have any control over it because everything's over here instead of over here. And I mean, I'm serious, everything's over here. I would actually prefer maybe physical buttons, like on the Bluetooth audio, where it does give me, the volume up, down, and different options as well. But this is more of a stylized version, so it's cleaner and stuff. But I do still like playing or touching physical buttons because it's easier to navigate when you're on the run or something else, instead of just like, oh, where's my finger, or where's that. And also, if you're wearing gloves and it's cold outside, or for whatever reason, well, it's not gonna sense it. You're gonna have to take off your gloves, and put it up or down, and it's easier to just navigate through this. So that's my total review. For the price wise, it's a give or take. You might find something on sale for another brand. Am I surprised regarding this? Very surprised for being a Walmart brand and everything. It's very impressive that they delivered this quality. That I will say. Would I recommend purchasing it? Yes and no, depending. It really depends on your taste. This was gifted to me, and I love it. It's really great. It works for what it's needed. But if you're looking for something with a bit more umph, and sound and stuff, probably a higher quality would be the best part to go for you. So let me show you some stuff really quick. So when I was referring to the noise cancellation being really good, it is really good. I have a few items here that I was trying out, and here's a perfect example. You hear that? Yes. But when you put the noise cancellation, you actually don't hear it. So I mean, you don't hear any of the tapping. You don't hear any of this. What you do hear is you hear the initial click. It does really reduce it, but you don't hear any of the echoing. Same thing goes here. You don't hear any of the echoing. It does a really great job at canceling. What you do hear is the initial click or the tap. So it does really reduce the sound because you don't hear any of that. So that's where I'm actually really impressed and surprised that this Walmart brand did a really great job at noise canceling. Do I recommend it at the end? Yes, for an entry level. If you're looking for something higher quality, more sound, I would recommend getting a different brand or something higher quality, higher end. But if you want something entry level, you're on a budget, this works great. It works as intended. It works wonderful. No issues in that case. If you're looking for something else, higher end, better sound, more quality, things like that, then this is not for you. That being said, the decision comes on to you. That's what it is. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll try and upload sooner as well. Hope you have a wonderful day. I send lots of love and kisses. You all be safe, and I wish you all the very best. And stay warm. There's that winter storm coming. Stay warm. See you all next time. Bye-bye.